Hi, thanks for joining me today. This is going to be a series inspired by Bob Ross, who, if you recall, did these videos on a public access or a TV show. I can't remember which one it was. Look him up, I can't recall. But it was just kind of fun watching and inspiring listening to this guy help create and inspire artists. I remember watching him as a kid growing up. He got me to paint a little bit, and now I'm painting miniatures. So I just want that same thing. And his philosophy is right. As long as you're painting from your heart, from inside, you can never go wrong. And Dungeons and Dragons miniatures like this little guy here, which we will be painting, it's kind of the same way. I love to see other people's artwork. You can have two of the same minis and they'd be completely different in art style and how they're done, and it's just phenomenal. I love it. And so I'm going to be using these paints, probably down below right here or somewhere floating around. I don't know yet. But you're more than welcome to follow along. But I much rather see everyone's own creation. And this is just an inspired thing because, again, like I said before, some people are afraid that they can't paint. Just jump right into it. Grab a paintbrush, grab a friend, and just start painting. There is nothing wrong. There is no mistakes, just happy little accidents. And sometimes those happy little accidents become the best thing you can ever have. So, with that said, let's get to painting and enjoy. So, here we have our little guy. This is Reaper Miniature Armored Goblin Lord 03 SKU 03849. Honestly, I kind of like this little guy. Then again, I'm just a little sucker for goblins. Because again, what's more better? What's no better than having your first encounter just be boom, it's a goblin. So we're gonna start off with painting his armor first here, and we're just gonna take the field gray, give it a quick shake, and again, a lot of artists, they like to use a wet palette. More power to them. Me, I like to use a simple paper plate. It's simple, it's easy, and everybody can have access to one. And we will be using army paint today. So just take a little bit of your brush. And again, brushes, they come, they go. They all have different styles, but again, just paint how you want. Now, it's important to always prime your miniature when you're painting. By priming, it'll give you something for your paint to stick onto. This way you know that the paint's going to stick. I like to paint mine in a white just so I can see all the little details. I mean, you got grays out there, you got your white, oh obviously I like to use white for mine, and you have your reds, you have the whole shades essentially. But I can already tell this guy's just a happy little goblin. Because again, not many goblins can afford some nice plate armor, let alone acquire some. Because again, they're seen as starter monsters, which is that, nice notice. This guy's got like this little spike right here and not on his other side. So, to me, because I got a tattoo on my right arm, kind of the same design right here, that he is primarily a left-handed goblin. So, we'll call him Left McGee, because he's a lefty. And I haven't seen that many miniatures that actually predominantly show a left hand. Because if you ever sword fight, your predominant hand is always going to be more forward than anything. And again, that's if you've ever done that. But again, we're just still using the field gray here. We're trying to get all the little spots that we can. Again, see here, just got get those deep crevices. And that's alright if your paint doesn't go exactly where it goes, where they want to. That's half the fun. Half the fun is trial and error. Just give me a second here, people. I'm going to see if I can make this lock a little better. There. Y'all can see our happy little goblin. Happy little goblin leader. A little better. And you know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of different paints out there. There's Citadel paints, Army Painter, Vallejo. Just use them all. Try them all. I mean, I got a mixture of Citadel, Army paints, and I use them all because they each are good in their own way. Some of them have colors which I can't match. Fine. I believe even Wizards of the Coast has their own painting line. Miniatures that they have out, like a paint series. That you can, kind of like a paint by number, almost. But, again, those are half the fun. And again, just take your time when you're painting. If you want to rush, go ahead and rush. The outcome will still always be the same. A beautiful masterpiece that you did yourself. And, you know, while we're painting him, again, we call him Lefty McGee, but why, you know, how did he get this armor? That's what I'm getting at here now. Now I'm thinking of a little backstory on him. And that's something I want to challenge you all to do. Whenever you're painting, just think about the miniature. Think about a story to them. Why are they like this? What made them? You know, if you paint an adventurer, why'd they go adventuring? That's something as a dungeon master I always like to ask my players, which was a good idea, because during session 0 it gives them time to realize and actually cooperate as a party. You know, because now they're feeding off each other's backstories. Because again, why did the nobleman decide to leave his precious lifestyle to become an adventurer? Why did the hero leave his hometown that he was a folk hero in, defending just against tiny little goblins like maybe this guy here? But all in all, we're just gonna, again, we're still using the field gray. That's because I like how this looks. See, it's like this dirt armor. And again, he's been rummaging around who knows what kind of filth. In the sewers, maybe, in the Underdark, in caverns. But he's still a leader, so he gotta have some dignity in his class. So maybe he has his underlings. Oh wow. I'm looking at this little leg armor right there. Look at those. I just love the detail that the Reaper miniatures can get to their little guys. But these legs are amazing. The Grievers, if I'm pronouncing it right, if I'm not, feel free to let me know. And also, again, I apologize if this is not going the way I thought it would. But this is just something, like I said before, an inspiration, because again, he'd always love to talk and paint. It's alright if you don't get everything the first time. We're just doing the best we can. And remember, as long as you're painting from how you see it in your head, that's what matters most. I know I'm probably going to get, I know times you're not going to feel motivated to do it, to paint. That's alright. Just give it a try. And if you don't enjoy it, that's quite alright. What matters most is that you tried. You did something new. And you pushed yourself to try something new. There's some little spots here deep in that underarm right there that are a bit trickier. But again, it's alright if we paint it over. But you see now we're getting some more details into him. You know, we got a gauntlet right here. And we're just going to paint this whole hilt. And, you know, this is another quick tip that I got from another person. A lot of times this is all they see. The players just kind of see this top down, the back version of him, the side. Rarely they're going to see the bottom. So don't put so much detail into the undercarriage or under portion to them. If you want to put more detail there, go right ahead. I'm never going to stop you. I'm never going to tell you you're painting anything wrong, because you are painting your way, and that's what matters most. As long as you're having fun painting, that's what matters. And again, I'm just realizing myself now, I probably say "and again" a lot. So comment below how many times you think I've said "and again" now. Just a little fun little thing. But it's alright, because I'm having fun. I'm having fun talking to y'all, and I'm having fun painting with y'all, because that's what this community is. This is a very wonderful community of painters. Some of them do amazing artwork. In fact, not some of them, all of them. Even the beginners, even the ones who just picked up a brush and said, I'm going to paint today, I love all your work. So, as you see now here, we're done with the field gray for the time being. All the heavy armor that I want is painted. Set them down right here for a moment. Make sure you always rinse your brush off. Oh, sorry about that. So while that's drying off, we will turn our attention to, ooh, let's see here. Let's get his robe. See here, he's got like a little robe portion. And I decided I wanted to be royal. So we're going to go with this lovely Dragon's Red. It pops out. It's going to make him stand out as a leader. Because again, red is a very powerful color. It's a noticeable color. And we're going to go with a smaller brush this time around. And for brushes, you don't need a fancy brush. You can just use any old brush if you really get into the hobby. Then if you do start getting into this hobby heavily, then I would recommend you get yourself a good pair of brushes. But there's nothing wrong with just buying a simple pack brushes and going right at it. The same goes along with paint. You know, oh, wow, you see that? Look at that. That already is making them stand out phenomenal. And we'll darken it out a little bit because, again, that is a little bright. But we will darken it out later. And again, you don't have to use red. I just used red because it's what I think would be great. I'd love to, and maybe a purple, green. Although he is a green skin, so maybe you double down on that green concept of him. Goblin. But again, as long as you're painting how you vision him, that's all that matters. Like I said, one person might have him purple, blue, or even gold. But for me, I like the red. Just something demanding and powerful about the red. That makes him stand out a little more. See, you don't need that much too when it comes to painting. Just simple little strokes. Simple happy strokes. I can't remember what Bob Ross always said. I remember when he was painting trees, he always said the branches are there, you just got to get them out of the brush. Here, it's kind of the same concept. Your creation is there. Just got to get them out. And, you know, I actually do personally love painting goblins. Goblins are nice and fun little creatures. Every single adventuring party always seems to go against them. Be it the first encounter or their first little death. But goblins just always have a special place for me. Beautiful robe. And now we're just going to clean our brush off again. Also, when cleaning your brushes off, make sure that you have a napkin, something just to dry it off with. And it's going to prove useful later on. And again, just set them aside. So now we got the plate, we got the robes. Now let's do the chainmail. The chainmail, we're going to do a lighter gray. This one is ash gray. And the reason I went ash gray for the chainmail is because it's predominantly underneath the armor. So it's not going to get just as dirty. And we just need a little bit of it. again. I wonder if I got a smaller brush. No, I don't. And I'll admit, I'm one of those people that I like to lick the ends of my paintbrush to find the tip out of it. I'm what you call a paintbrush licker, and I am proud of it. And it's quite alright, because then we can get these finer points. Now, I know I'm using my hands, and I guarantee someone's going to tell you that's not how to do it, but I just like to hold them because I can feel the mini. I can feel the weight of them. I can get a sense and more control. Now there's painter stands and all this other stuff out there that you can use. And if you do use it, it's good. If that's your style, go right ahead. It's not for me. So, what do you think Lefty, how do you think Lefty got this armor? I think he proved himself by taking down an adventurer. That's why he has this lovely sword here as well. This nice big old two-handed sword here. Because in Goblin culture, they kind of go off the rule of who's the biggest, who's the baddest. If you're the biggest, you're the baddest, and the strongest, you're the leader. And I'm looking around here now, and looks like we got a little more right there we can fill in. And there we are. So now that's all we needed for the ash gray, and it's coming along nicely now. You know, we're gonna save the sword for last because I want to do something special with the sword. Little special idea. Yeah, with them just to make them more unique, I should say. And now we're just drying off the brush. And during this time again, you're also letting the paint dry on other portions to him. So, with that, next we're going to be coloring his skin. And to nobody's surprise, we're going to be using Goblin Green. Sometimes paint doesn't want to come out just right. So just invest yourself in a little poker. This is mine right here, because I like to use army paints, which are all drippers. Yeah, this is a nice little thing by Reaper. If you don't have one, paper clips work just as fine. So now that we're getting to a finer portion, well, oh, that's typical. When you need something that's not around, but when you don't need it, it shows up. I just found my little finer brush. Don't know if y'all can see, but yeah, tiny little thing right here. And this guy's been with me for a while. He's helped me paint a lot of little spots. And now we're just going to get his arms and his legs. You know, little parts where flesh is going to be shown. Because he's not fully armored in all the locations. So that tells me this armor was really, well, thrown together. And again, I just like to talk to them, give them voices. Think about what they do. And you know what also? This guy doesn't have to be an NPC or a non-player character or the villain. Maybe this could be a playable character. You know, maybe this is Left. And the reason why his name's Left, because he left his village. He left his tribe, his goblin home, to become an adventurer. And that he took this big old sword from the chieftain as retribution for everything that's evil. Again, kind of goes on the same. Not everybody is evil. Not all monsters are bad. And you see, now we're starting to get like a little bit of know of him. Lefty the Goblin. So why did he left his village? I like the idea that he took the sword from the big bad chieftain. That he was tired. That he wants something better for his clan. So, he left. And maybe he had some trouble. Because after all, he's a goblin. But, you know, we all are goblins in our own little way. We all got our own challenges. But you know what? Just like this last year of 2020 and 2021, how it's going so far, we all have our challenges. So, we need to be resilient, like goblins here, because they're tough little creatures. They take a lot. They can take a lot. They put up with a lot. And all in all, they're just fun. Again, we are still using the goblin skin. And these are all just base colors. I know I'm probably going slow, but you know what? That's alright. I'm having fun talking to everybody. Even if you can't hear me. But that's alright. And now we're coming to another foot. I'm already seeing, I'm going to have to go back and paint some locations up. I love painting the heads, because then you get to see the real expression. And this guy already had an extreme expression on him. Like he was mad. Mad about what? I don't know. Maybe he was mad that he had to finally kill his own kind. Maybe he's mad that an adventurer came and slaughtered his people, and he's out for revenge. Maybe, just maybe, someone took the last cookie, and I would be upset about that myself too. He's coming along nicely here, this little goblin. Now let's give him a glance over. And again, this is just the first of many that we will do together. So I see a spot, little pun intended here, little chink in the armor, which I forgot to paint up. So we're going to go back to our ash gray, and it's just very small, but it's right here on his right leg. And there we go. If you can't get everything, don't worry about it. I like to be a completionist, which is good and bad at times. So I just realized the wrap, and I totally forgot about that. So we will go with a deep blue. Actually, yeah, we're going to go with the deep blue. And where's my talent brush? Because we got to paint this little portion right there, that deep blue. Because again, I just like colors that are contrasting and make it pop and make you want to wonder how to get that way. Again, that's just me. Paint it however you want. If you wanted to match the tapestry of his loincloth, go right ahead. Never gonna stop from you. Just do how you want. Believe in your painting. That's all you could ever do. That looks nice. I like that. Really pops. really pops amongst the gray. So now we're going to paint up this little portion right here. Oops, sorry, y'all can't see where I'm pointing here, but this right here. We're going to use some metallic colors now. We're going to use, not bright gold, where is it? No. Nah. Again, like sometimes I get an idea of my own, but then I'm just like, you know what? Let's try something different, because it just kind of hits me. I have an idea, and I really hope y'all enjoy them as much as I'm enjoying this. But what I just put on my palette was a weapons bronze, and that's to get the little crossguard. And let me see if I can shine a little more light now. Better. Whoop. Sorry, y'all. There we are. Oh wow, that's a lot better. But we are just going to get right there with the weapons bronze. And all this is just doing is getting that crossguard. Just take a little bit. And there we are. So, how did y'all get into painting? That's always a question I always like to ask. What inspired you to paint? For me, it's because I'm a dungeon master. And I can recall my very first game of Dungeons & Dragons ever playing. Yes, the DM said help me build my character. I was a half-elf ranger, and I have love for the rangers class, but see that? Now we have a little crossguard, and I fell in love with the ranger class since then. I know he gets a lot of hate, but I still love him. Oh. So, we have most of him done. We're going to go back over some portions of that field gray with a finer brush just to retouch up on some areas, like around the armor, there, here. Just little touch-ups from, moving them around. Touch. And the areas I missed on, or just, making them more unique. And again, sometimes when you're painting, you just miss some few areas, and that's alright, because we got a secret tool and a paint that a lot of painters swear by. And I'll agree, even I use it at times. I don't know what to do, but that's alright, because all in all, I'm having fun painting. Like I said before in the beginning, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. kind of like this hunch on him. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of makes you think maybe he's got a hunchback of Notre Dame. What's going on here? As I said before, we're going to save the sword for last because I don't want that thing to pop. Next, we're going to move on to what I dread the most, but it's going to be worth it in the long haul. That's the eyes. Don't need that big brush. Now we're getting into a little smaller brush. And we're going to use our dragon red, paint the inside of his mouth a little bit. Because I have never seen a green mouth before. And if you have, leave a comment where you have. Boom. This face is coming along nicely now. Now we're just going to take some of that green skin, Goblin, and gently go back around the eyes. What we're doing is we're just cleaning up the eyes a little bit. There we are. Don't see him, but they're a little cleaner now. And we're going to give him some red eyes. Actually, we're going to give him blue. Some deep blue eyes to go with that handle. Let's see if I can. Oh yeah, there we are. Gone with some deep blue eyes. Made him a little cross-eyed, but this is some fun. Now, he's got some teeth and some claws from his bare feet. So, what better yet than some skeleton bone? Just need a little bit of that. He's got a bit of a buck tooth, don't he? And down there in his little tiny little claws. And there's some bottom teeth on him. There we are. Alright, now we're just about done with him. And I really want, it to look like, I really want him to look like his armor has rivets. So those little spike portions, we'll take our, not our detail one, but our 0 one. And we'll use the chrome. Use the rubbing bronze again, and anywhere there's a little spike, just boom, boom, and boom, little dabs there, there, and there's a little more character. Now, I'm not going to color it, I'm not going to paint the base. At least not yet. Well, not how it is. And so now we're going to get to what a lot of artists love to use. That's washes. A strong wash. So washes can be tricky. This is one to where you want to have a brush that's kind of like this. It's all wide and flared out, because what you're doing is you are just those little cracks. And sometimes you don't want to get the wash on certain points. What this does is just gets in those little cracks. Gives some impressions. Gives it a 3D image, in my opinion. You can be as generous with this wash as you want to be. Now, something you can do with the wash is if you get like little pores you don't need, you can just like take your brush and move it elsewhere. some right there. It's a bit heavy. Pick that up, and I'll just move it over here. But what it does is it kind of gets all the creases. So that's drying. We'll turn attention to the sword. And I just like mix up the sight. And he goes, what? So this is a little surprise color that I didn't mention earlier because I like surprises. And this is a fun little surprise. Because a lot of parties just be like, what is going on with that? And this is a metallic pink. Why metallic pink on a sword? Why not? It's my miniature, and just says this is mine. You paint yours any way you want to. That's half the fun. I want him to be unique. I just realized I'm painting. You guys can't see it. I'm still new to this series. And boom. And there we go. Now there's just a few areas I need to touch up that I noticed. One is dome and his ears. Let's see if I can't. Careful to pick them up. Bring them to y'all. There we are. Look at that. That is a happy little goblin with some cotton candy pink sword. So now the base I am going to use, let me say he's out and about a little bit. Again, I recently just started getting bases. So half the time this is a new adventure for me. But you just take some super glue or any glue that you have, and you want to, I even seen people use Elmer's, I swear by Elmer's glue. Just get it on the base or where you want the part of the miniature to be covered in grass or whatever you wish to use. For me, I'm going to use some grass, which right here, and a lot of people just like to, pinch a little bit and just dab like so. Oop. Again, it gets the job done. Makes it a little messy, but hey, messy can be fun. And this kind of does help out cover the base a little bit. Well, sometimes covers it too much to where you can't see your feet, but That's quite alright. Our main actor, main point of focus is we want to be on the mini. Sometimes I just like to just do this move. Just get him in there, a little rough him up a little bit. Boom. You can have a base done in no time. There's people out there who do much better bases than what I just did. But there we go. There we have, and there we have our little goblin. I like Lefty. Lefty, the hero, Lefty, the evil goblin. I'll let you all decide. And I hope you enjoyed watching me paint this guy. I certainly had fun painting him and talking to everybody. And, you know, again, I just hope this series goes really well. Comment if there's anything you'd like me to see me paint and talk. Comment down below. Like, share. If you actually like these videos, subscribe so that way when I release my next one, you all will get notified. Other than that, just have fun painting. Again, I like painting goblins. I have a little collection of them up there on my counter. And this is just going to be progressing. I hope this series does go well, and I just hope everybody has a good time. Other than that, join me next time for, who knows, maybe another goblin, maybe a skeleton, maybe even a wizard. Who knows? We'll just have fun. Until the next time, keep painting. This is Painting by Nara. Have a nice day.